It was my 72nd birthday. I remember watching the dust motes dance in the afternoon sun, waiting for a call that never came. My late husband, Robert, always made such a fuss. My kids, now scattered across the country with their own busy lives, had sent a lovely card. But the day itself, the day was defined by a profound, deafening silence. It felt less like a celebration and more like a confirmation of a terrible fear. I had become invisible. After that day, I started to think of the loneliness as a person. It sat with me at the dinner table, a quiet, heavy presence. It followed me from room to room, turning the familiar comfort of my home into a hollow, echoing space. I was a ghost haunting the museum of my own past. My routine was simple: wake up, make coffee, and wonder how I would fill the vast, empty hours until I could justify going to bed again. I started talking to the television, just to hear a voice respond, even a pre-recorded one. I felt my own voice getting rusty, my social muscles completely atrophied. One afternoon, I found an old photo of a summer barbecue from 15 years ago. The garden was packed with friends, family, neighbors. I was in the middle of it all, laughing, a platter of burgers in my hand. The contrast between that vibrant, connected woman and the solitary person I'd become was a physical blow. It hurt to even look at her. I finally hit a bottom I didn't know existed. I remember thinking, well, this is it. This is the rest of my life. Society tells you that this is what getting old is, a slow, quiet disappearance. Your friends move away or pass on, your family gets busy, and you're left on a shelf to gather dust. I had started to believe it. The loneliness wasn't just a feeling anymore. It was my soul-crushing reality. Then, one night, I read an article that said chronic loneliness was as bad for your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. A tiny, rebellious thought sparked. I will not let silence be the thing that kills me. For the first time in months, I had a mission. I didn't just search for hobbies for seniors. I dove into gerontology articles and studies about social health. I wanted to understand the mechanics of connection, not just find a way to pass the time. That's when I found it, the social convoy model. It proposes that we travel through life surrounded by a convoy of supportive people. As we age, it's natural for some ships in our convoy to change course or drop out of the fleet. The mistake, I realized, was thinking the convoy was fixed. The solution wasn't to mourn the empty sea, but to actively, intentionally, invite new ships to join my journey, even small ones. These were called weak ties, the friendly acquaintances that make a community feel like a community. Armed with this new knowledge, I found a local walking group online called the Silver Striders. My hand shook as I held the mouse over the link to their next meeting. Every fear screamed at me, "You'll be the outsider." They all know each other. It will be more awkward than being alone. It took every ounce of courage I had to simply click. And I went. I almost turned back 3 times, but I walked up to the group. A woman with kind eyes smiled and said, "Glad you could make it." That was it, but it was everything. My new mission was simple: just keep showing up. I treated it like a doctor's appointment I couldn't miss. I went the next week, and the week after that. I was building a new habit, not of walking, but of being among people. My strategy, based on that weak ties research, was simple. My only goal each time was to learn one person's name and one small thing about them. That was it. No pressure, no performance. On the 4th walk, Carol, the woman who had smiled at me, asked about the rose pin on my jacket. We ended up walking together for 20 minutes, talking about gardening. It wasn't a deep, life-altering conversation, but it was real, and it was more connection than I'd felt in over a year. There were hard days. One rainy Tuesday, the old inertia was strong. The sofa felt safe. The outside world felt like a risk, but I remembered the silence. I put on my raincoat and went. Walking in the drizzle with 3 other striders, laughing about how crazy we were, felt like a monumental victory. About 2 months in, something shifted. I woke up one Thursday and realized I wasn't making myself go. I was genuinely looking forward to it. I wanted to hear if David's grandson had won his soccer game. I wanted to show Carol a picture of my blooming azaleas. These acquaintances, these weak ties, were becoming a real part of my life. They were my new convoy, and I was looking forward to the journey. My life today is unrecognizable from that silent birthday. The walking group led to coffee after. The coffee led to one of the women inviting me to her book club. My calendar, once terrifyingly blank, now has things on it. My phone rings with calls just to chat. The heavy, oppressive silence in my house is gone. It's been replaced by the quiet hum of a life being lived. I am no longer a ghost in my own home. I am the vibrant keeper of it, welcoming friends inside. And here is the deepest truth I learned. The cure for loneliness isn't just company, it's community. It's the feeling of belonging to a group of people, however loosely. It's knowing that if I didn't show up for a walk, someone would notice. Someone would call to check in. That feeling, that simple human safety net, that is the opposite of loneliness. It is the very definition of connection. For my 73rd birthday, Carol and 3 others from the walking group came over for a small potluck in my garden. My house, which had been so painfully silent a year before, was filled with easy conversation and laughter. It was the greatest gift I have ever received. If you are sitting in a silent room right now, feeling invisible, please hear me. Loneliness is a prison, but you are holding the key. It's not about being the most popular person. It's about taking one small, terrifying, wonderful step to find your convoy. They are out there, waiting for you to join them.